record. All right, let me close my door.
That's a weird order to do things in.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's definitely a weird order.
That sounded like you teleported. Your voice went from like, "Oh, I'm miles away," to "Yeah, it is, isn't it?"
Yeah, man. This is one of those mics has that basketball effect. If you're not within the basketball of the mic, then you are automatically far away.
Is that what it's called? A basketball effect?
I think I might have made up the basketball part. I think it's like, oh, I'm far away. I'm far away. Oh, I'm right here. Yeah.
Ladies. Oh my God.
Men. I'm not.
I like to think that as you said ladies there, you turned yourself down again. If possible. Ladies. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What is up, guys? And welcome to the VisualWood Podcast episode number. Oh my gosh, help me.
59?
Woo! No.
58. I'm always one ahead for some reason. I'm 1 week in the future.
Oh
apparently.
my gosh.
Is it 58? Yeah, it's 58. Yeah. Last episode was 57, leaving it all in and going hard for 2015. Yeah.
There you go. See? I was just waiting for you to
See, now here's the problem. Next time you ask me that, I'm going to be like, okay, it's whatever I want to say minus 1. And then I'll remember that as a rule of thumb. And then I'll start getting it right. And then I'll start taking 1 away. And I'll get it wrong in the opposite issue. It's just bound to happen.
Amazing.
Also, I apologize to everyone on this podcast if I'm coughing. I apologize especially to you, Matt, for phlegming in your ear.
Or my editing. That's probably going to be great, right?
You're going to try and edit out every cough?
Yes.
What if I'm coughing in the middle of a sentence?
No, don't do that. Take a cough drop or something. You ever had Ricola? Oh my gosh. Ricola. It's so good, dude.
How do you even spell that?
I have no idea.
Ricola, apparently. Oh, this is like a powder you put in like hot water, right? Is this what you?
Oh no. There's one that you could just. It's like a little candy you could put in your mouth. I try not to say put in your mouth early. I try to go back, step back a little bit, and say candy that you could put in your mouth.
Yeah. Well, you'd put the other one in your mouth too, to be honest, to drink it.
Okay.
When I coughed, I asked for a Ricola, not Ebola.
Ricola.
Okay.
You sound like you were saying Ebola, but Ricola. So.
Yeah, no, I read you a joke. The joke is when never mind. It's like an online meme. How have you been? What have you been up to, man?
I've been good. Everything's been pretty straight. What about you, man?
Well, so we did like a live VisualWood-ish. Do you consider that the famous?
I feel people who watch that got a treat. I think got a treat. Unfiltered, uncensored by me.
Probably less than 10% of our regular listeners watched the live show, don't you think?
Yeah, like almost 300 people. Almost 300.
Special snowflakes, those people that were listening to that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have put an actual number on that, by the way, there. You should have just left it, and then in a few years, like people would be like, I wonder how many that was, and it would always be obscure. And they'd expect, that our audience of like 3 years' time was always the same size.
It's okay, I can just cut it,
Okay,
I just cut everything.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, we did a live VisualWood, and that was fun, wasn't it, Matt? We played. Go on.
Yeah. We played Don't Starve. So first we played Don't Starve together on the channel, and there was a 2-part series, and we did that. And then we did a live show right after the second part came up, so you guys can see, me get better at the game instead of.
But you still. I don't know how to blame I am for what happened there, because...
Dude, you killed me!
Guys, we didn't actually do that well. I honestly thought, Matt, we'd at least get past the dogs. We'd be up to like day 20 or something. It would take a while probably, but we'd be going for it. It's easier than normal because you've got 2 people to grab resources, and you can, like defend one another and stuff like that. You can respawn, you can bring each other back to life. It's way less punishing, and we sucked. We got to day 9. 2 days longer than before, and it's because Matt starved.
I starved. It says don't starve, and I was like, dude, I need food, and you're just eating. You're just eating in front of me.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, I need
too.
food.
I was starving too.
But you can eat one, and then you won't get the effects of your health being gapped away.
For like a couple of seconds, and then it will come back, won't
it? Yeah, but in a couple of seconds, you could drop one for me, so I won't die.
But the thing is, I didn't even know you were taking damage. I just thought you were hungry, right? Like, and you were.
So you didn't hear the urgency in my voice. Dude, I'm going to die. I'm hungry, dude. I'm going to hungry. You thought I was just joking. You thought I was just playing the character.
Yeah, I thought you were in trouble, but I gave you like a berry. I didn't have too much to throw around.
After you ate like 10 things, I just saw you just went, that's the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah, but they were tiny little things anyway. They were seeds that I hadn't even cooked. Do you know how little nutritional value there are in seeds that you haven't cooked?
You said there was a feature on Twitch where you can see the chat again. I need to see that feature.
I did that, dude. I did that. I went back and watched it. I watched the broadcast and I used that feature.
Really?
It's not a Twitch feature. It's so I use Chrome, and there's a Chrome add-on called I think it's called Retwitch is what it's called. Maybe it's that one. And it didn't save all of the messages. Our chat only was like saved after like maybe 11 minutes or so into the stream. But after that, yeah, I got to read through all of them. And then everything that we'd missed and what people said while we were running around. Because, man, that is a hard game to play and also focus on other stuff. Either that or I'm just not used to having to split my attention so many ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to be able to focus on chat and play the game at the same time when the game is constantly draining your sanity and threatening you with things and like evil spiders and stuff. But yeah, so Matt died, and then and I had this great plan to craft this thing that would bring him back to life. But apparently, crafting
is that spoilers? Isn't that spoilers?
What do you mean? Do you think people are going to go back and watch it?
Probably not. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I killed myself trying to bring Matt back to life on day 9, and that was it.
But it's the experience. The experience was good. A lot of good moments.
Yeah. And we did a bit of a live Q&A after that. Really, the only reason we're talking about this is to make all of you feel bad. So I hope that's that's working there.
Well, now that you say it, now it's real. Now it's real. So what have you been playing?
So I played this game with this guy that I stream with, and it was called Don't Starve Together.
Oh, so we're gonna go in circles now. So
that was a pretty cool.
So I guess I should start then.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
My wife got me a Wii U.
Really? Wait, no, you told me this already. Why do I already know this?
Yeah. My wife got me a Wii U. I got Smash Brothers, and then I got like the Christmas bundle that was still around with Nintendo Land and Super Mario 3D World. And I gotta say, even though of course the Wii U is very dated, the games are amazing. Yeah. Like I say, because I play Smash every week or so, pretty much every week or so over Super Bunny Hop's house. Yeah. And now I get to practice. Now I get to practice and win more games.
Does he usually beat you? Is it normally stacked in his favor?
No, I'm actually pretty good for not being, not playing.
Oh, wow.
Which is weird. Okay. Yeah, it's really weird. There's another guy who's really good as well, Casey. He also plays with us, and yeah, it's basically between me and him fighting. And then, of course, Super Bunny Hop does win. It's just that, Oh,
I think you're talking a lot of smack right now. I think
we always talk smack. We always talk smack. That's something that constantly happens. It keeps competitive juices going. If you know what I mean. Yeah, but I gotta say, man. Because I chose to get, I was like, you know what? The next one I'm going to get is a Wii U instead of a PS4 because, I don't know, there's nothing really to play on PS4,
What about The Last of Us Remastered and Uncharted 4 Thieves End, which isn't actually out yet, but will be out at some point. And, oh wait, Tomb Raider isn't on that anymore. Yeah, there's not too much, I guess.
No, there isn't. There's a bunch of indie games and,
Wow, you're making yourself look pretty bad right now.
Yeah. I looked up the list
much.
Plenty of times because I was looking at, okay, what's going to come out for the PS4? What's going to come out for the Xbox? What's going to come out for the Wii U? Yep. And I'm not hating. I'm not hating on the PS4. I still want one. Bloodborne is coming out next month, and I want it. But the thing is, the Wii U has all these games, plus it's backwards compatible. I was just like, I rather aim for the Wii U next eventually, but then my wife was like, "Hey, I didn't get anything for Christmas, so here you go."
Oh, apparently EQ Next is coming out for PS4. I didn't know that.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I rather
I'm
play that
looking at a
stuff on
list of-
PC though. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. PlayStation's always sort of tried to have MMOs sort of in its space, right? It's never quite worked.
What was the place? Yeah, PlayStation itself. Yeah, they had Final Fantasy way back in the day.
Yeah, but
my
they
friend
had
used to play
FF11,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, my friend used to play that a lot, but he went from PlayStation to PC like real quick.
And
He's like,
14 is on PS4 as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or it will be coming, I guess. I'm trying to
I know-
frantically look through this list here.
I think
I
it's
think it
already
already
out.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it came
already
out in
out.
April.
They did a remastered version because the first version was really bad.
Yeah, Realm Reborn. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people play it. I remember the artist that does some of the art for the channel, Ren plays it, and she likes it pretty well. I always wanted to try it.
So back to the Wii U thing, okay? My favorite main series Super Mario game probably, and this is kind of one of those hipster dumb things to say, but I really do genuinely believe this, is Sunshine. Like, I really liked Super Mario Sunshine. However, I also very much like Galaxy 1, Galaxy 2, and obviously World came out. I missed all of this, right?
Right.
So, how good is World? Is it just Galaxy 2 but with cats? Or talk to me.
No. It's different. You haven't seen Mario 3D Land? Because I play 3D Land on 3DS. I haven't played the Galaxy
Is
ones,
3D
but I know
Land like new Super Mario Bros?
No, it's definitely 3D. Like, you move around. It could get really hectic with 4 people. Holy crap, really hectic with 4 people. The best combination is about 2, I would say. 2 people playing in a world at one time. Because the camera goes nuts. The level design is amazing. All right, the game is fun. Really fun and challenging. That challenge doesn't go away because I remember how hard 3D Land was, and I 100% completed 3D Land. But 3D World, it's on another level now. Like, there's a lot of hidden...
What, are they spiritually very similar games, though?
Yeah.
How can you compare it? Because my frame of reference is like the Galaxy games most recently, I guess. And
it's
are they
kind
very
of
similar?
like a longer Super Mario 64, but definitely like a different design.
When you say 64, do you mean like they don't
like,
have like a standard
it's like short
castle
levels,
hub world?
right? Like Super Mario 64, as a kid, you think they're really big levels, but they're not. They're really small. They're really small levels. As a kid, you thought it was huge. Like, oh, I'm gonna climb up this humongous mountain or whatever.
Yeah,
no,
like
it's
in the
not
first
that.
level. Yeah,
It's not that big. It's really not that big. And in 3D World, it's short levels, and there's like 3 stars that you have to find, and they're hidden in different spots. Yeah, and then there's like a little stamp that you can find as well. So 3. So
how does level navigation work in World?
It works like Super Mario World, the SNES.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. And like the new Super Mario Bros. Games then as well.
Yeah.
Where you get like an overworld and you're like on a little path and you move left and right and then you press X.
The graphics are good. Everything is solid. Everything is really solid. Really solid.
Okay. One day when they're dirt cheap, I'll get a Wii U and I'll like, just binge the hell out of games like that.
Compared to like my Xbox and my Xbox One, and my friend has a PS4, so I've played hours of PS4. It's like, okay, they're basically the same in graphics. It's all a matter of the games, and the games are just on the Wii U right now. Like, there's some really good stuff. I guess it depends on what type of gamer you are. If you're a person that comes online and they want to play like a military shooter, then you're probably going to go on with either Xbox or PS4. And if you want some Dark Souls, if Dark Souls is your life, then you're definitely going to get a PS4. I mean, come on, there's a 2D Dark Souls coming out that I almost feel like I need to buy a PS4 just to play it. It's called Salt and Sanctuary. It's very.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard of this. Yeah.
Yeah, very Dark Souls inspired, or Demon Souls. You know, Souls, a Souls-like game, and it looks great. And I love 2D. I love 2D games. I can't get enough of it. 3D is cool, but it's like, oh man, 2D really brings me back. It's because it's just cleaner. It just works better. The controls can be polished well. Rarely 3D games. You feel that control awesomeness.
Yeah, like they really took a dive.
Yeah,
like when people first moved over. Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's like Assassin's Creed. Like, yeah, it's good, but man, like you can't climb up those certain like buildings
I thought AC was actually really good. That was one of the things I most enjoyed. That like no one really did like the whole parkour system where it's like, all right, we're just gonna simplify the controls like Matt. Just hold a button down. There you go. You're done.
Well, I like it. It just gets sometimes you jump off where you don't want to. It happens like every once in a while. It doesn't totally ruin the gameplay. And but I still really, it's to the point that I can still look past it because I enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Not that I played Unity, I stopped at Unity. I played up to Black Flag, and I think Unity just kind of turned me off. I saw all the googly eyes glitches, and I was like, maybe I'll pass on this.
Glitches. Is this something I want to YouTube right now?
Oh, you haven't seen the glitches for Unity?
No, I'm doing it right now.
You gotta keep up with the news, man. You gotta keep up with the news. I thought you were on Reddit for like all day.
Yeah, but I'm not sub to any gaming Reddits. I don't care about video games. I'm sub to stuff like
stuff like Guild Wars 2 and then everything else.
My God, I am sub to an awful lot of things.
Yeah, I get we're two different people. Fans, audience. Like he's more of like I play one game and then that one game that catches my eye, and I'm like,
actually I do have another game I've been playing this week. By the way,
yeah. Oh, hold up, let me take out my wallet. Okay.
All right, I was playing Gary's mod, and I was playing Trouble in Terrace Town.
All right,
Prop Hunt, stuff like that.
I'll give you that. You didn't invite me though. That's best with friends.
Yeah, I was playing with friends. It was good. I can invite you next time if you like. Oh God! Rewind, guys. You can hear the moment where Matt's heart breaks. Rewind it. Really drag it out.
I see. So moving on. So WildStar is dying.
What do you? How sensational is that? All right. Okay.
So, because my heart was dying just now.
So, I mean, I haven't talked to you about this. I've been a bit weird about talking to you about this. No, I know what you meant. I heard what you said. But so, anyone who's listening in the GW2 space, obviously there's huge news going on at the moment. There was a big release from NCSoft where they do like earnings estimations and stuff like that. In the past, we've heard they've been saying, expansion and stuff, but it's never really meant anything or represented anything. Now we're seeing like huge predicted spikes in the sales of Guild Wars 2, explicitly mentioning expansion, stuff like that. Everyone's all hyped, right? Okay, and it's all very cool. GW2's like way up there. But in this same report, and I mean, I'm really curious about your opinions on this. In the same report, they basically show WildStar is rock bottom earner for NCSoft, way below far older titles like Ion and obviously bigger things that are bigger obviously over in the East and so forth, but it's right down there. And I was reading some information like in the community about just the severity of this, and there's like a lot of comments here that basically say they don't seem to even have enough people to pay their labor, that unless they get some kind of cash infusion or something, they can't market themselves. They don't have the money to market themselves. They don't have the money to properly transfer over to a free-to-play model and maybe keep going. And that the game is just like, it looks really, really depressing. Like WildStar is seriously on the way out. And I was wondering what you thought of that.
Yeah. So I was wrong. I thought that WildStar would thrive and it wouldn't die off of being a paid model.
Yeah.
And a lot of people's like, oh no, it's gonna be free to play. I don't know if it's gonna be going free to play, but it might just die, because So WildStar is a good game. I heard a couple months back last year that there was this month that they just lost so many subscribers, like a lot.
I remember seeing a post where some guys were saying, I just did like they have a I may have even talked to you about this at one point, right, where they have like a message in WildStar, right, where you can type like view or something, and it will tell you how many players are online on your server. And a guy did it at peak time, and he had 14 people online on his server. This was months ago. I saw this.
Oh my god!
14 people. And at that point, I was like, that doesn't look good. And I wanted to talk to you, but you really liked the game and were very convinced it was doing well. I was like, okay, maybe this was just a one-off or something.
No. I thought it was going to do well.
Yeah.
I really liked the game. I just didn't have time. I can't balance life, providing YouTube videos and everything else. Right, while trying to raid, like I can't,
because it's all hardcore, right?
It's all hardcore.
So here's what my understanding. I want you to tell me whether I'm right or wrong, because I read a comment about this and it seemed pretty on the ball. He said there's two things really that killed WildStar, or is killing WildStar. Let's not, overdo it. But basically, he said number one was at launch they had way too few servers, and they fixed it by adding tons more, but they overcompensated. And because they never had like a mega server system or the kind of thing that ESO was doing, it meant that you had situations where you barely ever saw people very shortly after launch, and you had stuff like this guy pinging and there's only 14 people on the server because there were way too many. He said number one, that was a big issue.
They spread out their community.
Sorry, say again?
They spread out their community.
Right, yes, yeah, and that kills an MMO. And the other thing that he said, which I think it might be the more important thing, is that this was a game. This is a game in stark... it's so interesting because it's complete opposite to Guild Wars 2, which is all casual at the moment. They're barely looking at all at the veterans or hardcore players. It's just casual stuff constantly, okay? And you look in the Guild Wars 2 community, and all it is people saying, I want hardcore stuff, ArenaNet's dropping the ball, please give something to the veteran players, we need this sucks so badly, blah, 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 right? That's what most of our community is like. Then you read these comments over on WildStar, and there's all these people who are straight up saying this game is failing because it does not appeal to casuals whatsoever. The hardcore stuff is too hardcore. Why did they make this all too hardcore? Why aren't raids in different tiers like World of Warcraft does it? It's too traditional. It's a game for people who 10 years ago would grind hardcore in MMOs, but these people don't exist anymore, and this is why it's failing. And it's complete opposite communities, dude. It's mental to see. And unfortunately, it looks like WildStar fell on the wrong side of the coin toss, maybe? I don't know. Would you agree with that? That it's too hardcore? Like, you would do the leveling and then you stopped because you couldn't do the
There's a bigger
race?
casual audience than anything else. People have lives. People have jobs. That's the reason why ANET can survive off the casual. That's why I want ANET to go full on casual, like with some hardcore stuff, of course, obviously, but full on casual. And people complain, oh, we want more hardcore, more hardcore. But yet you're still playing the game, and it's there's a reason for that. They're still catering to adding the daily rewards. That's casual. That's casual stuff. Just logging in and you get a gift.
Yeah, the login rewards. Yeah,
the stuff like that people like. There's a reason why people play so many iPhone, Android games. There's, millions of downloads. Millions. Why? Because it's casual. They
get to do other stuff.
They come in, they do it, whatever. If they can come in, play Guild Wars 2 with a couple friends, maybe even play the entire day, but don't even touch it for the rest of the week.
Do you think so? This last summer with GW2, obviously there was so much controversy, people really, really backlashing hardcore, people quitting, stuff like that. All because of this, hey, they're not adding stuff we want, like hardcore stuff, right? That was basically what it boiled down to. Yeah. Because ArenaNet did devoted Feature Pack 2 to casual and new player experience stuff rather than veteran player stuff. That was all they were focusing on. Do you not think, okay, that now that they're pretty much perfecting this casual thing and they're focusing on casual so much, if they haven't already perfected it, if they go just that little bit more to perfect the casual stuff, now they're actually going to be in a place where they should start doing hardcore stuff? Do you not think that's what they should do now?
Yeah,
even though the hardcore angle is killing WildStar, Guild Wars 2 is in a different place now because they've got the casuals and they've got that master. Do you know what I mean? Do you think they can now stop focusing on it, or they should?
I think they need. I still think they need that extra step to get people to constantly come back. Like if Guild Wars 2, if they're going for the casual stuff, they need to add not necessarily farming, like farm, like for instance, if you go in and you have crops, right? Like, this is a total example. I'm talking about the mechanic. I'm not talking about actually making them, you build a farm and you grow carrots and stuff like that.
I'm with you.
Right. Something that feels satisfying to come in and manage, right? And go out with a couple friends and adventure, and that all interacts with each other. Everything should be a part with each other. Like when you go out and you grab materials and stuff, you go back and you cook. That type of mentality, I think that is best. When everything is attached to each other, then you don't feel bad doing one thing so much because you're still leveling up something else, And I feel like if they go in that route where they add, they know what they can add to their game. I don't know how their programming works. I don't know what they can and can't do. We saw Super Adventure Box. They did some really wacky stuff in there. They might be able to do some really cool features that could add a lot more to this game other than just being able to run around and fight. I feel like they need to add something else.
So you're not really in favor of kind of the raiding style stuff as much as you would be in favor of like fishing and stuff, but like full blown
like that.
Is that what you're saying? I don't see.
I feel I'm in favor of both. The thing is, I would love raiding, but I feel like what they have given us so far, I'm not really into. Like that open world Tequado stuff where there's a bunch of lag and people. There's a lot of people who are not in TeamSpeak, and so you can't manage them properly. I feel like all that's too crazy. And I understand, yeah, some people made it work, but just like coming from a casual place, right, which is most of Guild Wars 2, coming into the Quado, they were like, oh, well, why do I have to do this? This is too much work and blah, blah, blah. I don't want the game to die. That's why I say they might have to do that, like the Tequado type fights, in a different way that can cater.
Like in instances.
Yeah. Different instances would be great. Like having that boss fight in a dungeon where you have a controlled group. I understand every, like the elitism and stuff like that, but like the controlled group is so much better. You have less lag. You can manage everyone properly, and that stuff is satisfying. I do kind of miss new dungeons, when it's done right. I remember when what was it, the Etherblade one with the lasers and everything? Was it that one? That one was just like, whoa, this is really cool. Like, I was really amazed. It was really hard, and people kept dying at first.
And it's the catch-22 though that they're in at the moment is whenever they add hard stuff, people find it too hard, they get frustrated and they don't want to play it.
Right.
And then criticisms come down about reward structures and stuff like that. But that's the catch-22 they have. Then they see nobody's playing it and they say, oh, well, we shouldn't do hardcore stuff, even though it's all that they're constantly hearing online.
And that's why I say I don't want the game to die. So please do something else that will cater. Maybe they should just, in this, if they do come out with an expansion, they lay out like something just for like the a casual world of all these things they can do, and then they add a model that they can add hard stuff to, like we were talking about before, man, because we've been talking about this for a while. We talked about whole worlds being hard, a whole map being hard mode, or being a set of dungeons being hard that they release every month, kind of like the fractals or whatever, with actual, like a little bit of story or something like that. Like, there's different ways that they can add that, and they can, if they could somehow, if they're done with this, whatever they're working on, they could somehow release that every month or so, or every 2 months, where they release a new hard thing that it takes you like a month to like do and master, and as soon as you master it, there's another piece of content to do, and people who don't play a lot, they can still play that. The casual people, like, oh, give it a try, it might work. After they're, they go off in their adventures to, on a boat or whatever. What if they release this huge like boat map and they like, flying on boats? Like, everyone like Arch H for a reason. because being able to explore the world. And I always that first experience when you're playing Guild Wars 2 for the first time and you just explore a new map is amazing. The new maps now, they don't really have the flair that I like.
Well, you enjoyed the jumping puzzle we did the other day.
Oh, that was good. But that is how long? It's been so long since they released one, especially to that caliber. Holy crap! Oh my gosh, I enjoyed that. If that's a sign of things to come, I am on board. But there's so many factors in this, and I can't sit here and say, oh, this is what ANET's supposed to do, and blah, blah, blah. No, I can only give my opinion. They definitely shouldn't lose the casual audience because it's bigger than the hardcore. It's bigger. But the hardcore are very, like, they're really hardcore, you know? And it's not like the casuals are not hardcore either. Those are the people who dress up as the characters and stuff like that, and they might not be that good at the game. You know, they just enjoy it, and you need those. You need both. You need a combination of both. Casuals are ultimately bigger, though. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest.
Back to the WildStar thing. Here's a couple of comments, right? Okay, about like the state of affairs, just to sort of cap it off. These are from Reddit. Is 3.6 million a quarter even enough to cover operation costs and further development? And that's not including the cut that would go to NCSoft. People keep saying that Drop 4 will save WildStar with a big marketing push, but Carbine literally cannot even afford marketing when they're earning this little. Someone else responds, when you break it down to a monthly basis, it looks even worse. They're going to have to downsize tremendously if they want to get any profit from that little amount. And if they do that, they can't really make a lot of content anymore. The stuff we're getting right now is really shallow in general, especially for a 3-month wait for each drop. I can't imagine it get any worse. The last number I remember was that Carbine has around 250 people after the layoffs they suffered. Remember NCSoft put layoffs everywhere and spared ArenaNet? With only 50k average salary, that's over $1 million a month just in labor. So yeah, it's pretty bad.
We're talking about WildStar. I just went on a rant about Guild Wars 2.
No, wait, Guild Wars 2 is a part of it. Guild Wars 2 is a part of it. Someone else. This is on the WildStar subreddit, okay?
Yeah.
Loads of people on this same thread are talking about Guild Wars 2. Someone responded to what I just said about the 250 employees. WildStar has 250, and someone else responds saying, ArenaNet has about 300 staff compared to Carbine's 200, he says. They have 1.5 times the staff, but Guild Wars 2 is projected to be making, at worst, 4 times the income. That's a pretty stark comparison. Like, there's just a huge difference, and it's... I don't know. It's pretty depressing to see.
Yeah, it is, because WildStar is a good game. I just feel they must have dropped the ball with how they did their content, and they had some casual stuff going on, but the stuff that they did have was really good, but
skateboard parks, housing,
the housing was just really, really good, but that was it. It was mostly kind of hardcore, and the leveling, I can understand people not want. So many people have bought the game and they tell me like, "Yo, man, I can't finish it, man. It's just it's boring. It's boring," and they're right. I'm used to it, so I burnt through it like it was nothing twice, like it was nothing, because I'm used to it, and I did it on a PvP server because. I want to fight some people, and people always like to gank and stuff like. It makes it more interesting to me. But
oh no, absolutely, I would very much enjoy doing that.
Yeah. It's man, dude, some really awesome fights on like this big canyon fight. Oh my gosh, I wish I recorded that fight way back. But it's one of those things where people say they want hardcore, but really they really don't want hardcore.
Well, yeah. I think there's certainly a threshold of play that most players have to reach before they want the hardcore stuff. And you look at Guild Wars 2 now, which has retained a very substantial audience, and it's those that they retained for a long period of time that are now like, oh, we want the hardcore, because they just want meaningful stuff to continue doing, because they're invested in their characters and stuff, and they want that before they quit.
Right. I'm pretty sure. If an expansion pack is announced, a lot of people will come back. Why? Because it's a good game.
You can already see it on that WildStar thread. People are like, who cares? All I see from this is Guild Wars 2 expansion.
Yeah. Because Guild Wars 2 was something different. Guild Wars 2 was something to change the mode. There's the only reason why I made videos about it is because it was something different than what I've been playing for years and years and years.
WildStar's only 6 months old as well. That's crazy to me.
It's so crazy how the MMO genre is kind of getting stale at the moment. It's really getting stale. A lot of people
getting.
Yeah, it's probably already stale.
It's been stale for what? 20 years?
Not 20
Except
years.
maybe GWT.
Definitely not 20.
No, I stand by that, dude. I really do.
20 years. It's been stale for 20 years.
Okay, not 20 years. All right, fine.
20
10 years.
Like
I don't think. Yeah, okay.
That's a little bit overboard.
That's like back to mods, isn't it? 20 years. That's pretty bad.
It
hasn't innovated at all since then. No,
right. People look to Guild Wars 2 for that. They have fantastic looking characters, at least the human characters, and the Zuras. Oh, so cute. The Zuras, the Savari, I mean, and the Char. I don't know about that.
Wow.
But anyways, there's a lot of the good art style. There's good combat to a point. I feel like there could be some changes there, but like, I feel like there's a good foundation right now.
This is like an old podcast.
Yeah,
right
it
here.
is. I need to stop talking. I'm gonna stop talking now.
You were gonna talk a bit more about Elite Dangerous. People are gonna hate me for doing that, for hurrying you along there. I'm gonna get all the hate in the world.
Yeah, well, you get the hate instead of me? Oh my goodness, that would be a change.
You skipped it. Did that mean you didn't really have anything else to say, even though you've still been playing it a lot?
No. It's there's a question about it. I'll answer it later. No one needs to hear about it.
Okay, then let's do Movie Club, yeah?
Oh yes, Shutter Island. Okay, so
all right.
I should start because I'm the one who hated it.
Yeah. Can I just start by recapping for everyone?
Okay.
We picked the movie. Matt wasn't super enthused. I wouldn't say you hated it, honestly. It wasn't that bad. But you were like, it was okay. One thing you specifically said was that you felt it was predictable, that you could see the end coming, and that kind of ruined the movie, right?
Yeah.
This was your last week opinion.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, it looks okay. It's Leo DiCaprio. How bad can we go? Martin Scorsese. All right, that's where we were last week. Now we've both watched it. Matt for the second time, me for the first time. What did you think?
Okay, so I went in this movie. I already knew the ending, right? So I just decided. I feel like I watch movies differently now. I definitely watch movies differently. I feel like I was a stupid watcher years ago. I would watch it and didn't really pay attention to certain things. Now, like ever since, I don't know, like 2 years ago, I just kind of pay attention to everything, and more so. And I watch for subtle changes. And this movie has so many. And it's really impressive. It's really impressive. Even though I saw it coming, I felt like I missed the ending, actually. Because the ending wasn't really what I thought it was when I first watched it. I guess we're gonna talk about spoilers, but before we get to,
we have to.
We have to. Before we get to the ending, let's talk about the process here. Okay, so there's a few subtle changes in the movie. You're Leonardo DiCaprio. You're a marshal with your partner coming to Shutter Island to investigate a missing prisoner. All right.
Yes.
And so you get on the island and people are acting weird. People are acting
really weird. Aggressive to you.
Yeah.
They don't like you.
Yeah. And sometimes you can see
they're
them
hiding something.
Sometimes they'll be nice. Sometimes they'll be regular. And then other times you can notice certain things like their face expressions and how the other people who are patients there are looking at you. And they're like, it's just like, what is going on? What is going on? And so there's subtle things like, for instance, they were looking inside of the missing person's room, And his partner asks, right, because he came with a partner, where is, how many shoes do they have, right? And he says, and the police officer says 2, and he says, okay, so she's running around barefoot because there's 2 pairs of shoes here. Yeah. And then later on, the police officer says, you said it yourself. She's running out here with no shoes. Mm-hmm. And you're like, no, the partner said that. What are you talking about? Then there's things like, when you talk to this older lady, Miss Miss Kruns or something like that.
I don't remember.
Yeah. She asks for a glass of water. She drinks it, but nothing's in her hand. Nothing's in her hand. There's no cup in her hand. And then when she puts it down, the cup is there. It's
what? I didn't catch that.
Yeah, there's a lot of it everywhere. Like the director was just messing with people, and people would not. I did not notice this the first time I watched this, that there were so many subtle things everywhere. The way they talk, the words they use, the writing was just all over the place. Like, it's subtle hints towards something more is going on here. Why? What's up with the dreams? What's up with this? And it keeps you guessing, and you're going through it with him. It was a great movie. It was a great movie. I enjoyed it the second time because
really?
I
I'm
watched
happy.
it. I watched it and I was like, I really like stuff like that. I really like hidden stuff. I like when people put the extra effort, and it must have been a lot of effort to have little stuff throughout the whole movie where like the cup thing and the shoes thing, and when he's like, oh, where is she, and blah blah, like he's getting mad, and the workers are all laughing, like it's just they're all laughing like it's okay that someone's missing, a murderer is missing, potentially a murderer is missing because she this person murdered her 3 kids, she drowned them in the lake. Like, you're hearing this story about this woman drowned her 3 kids in the lake, and has escaped, and it's pretty good. So you tell me before I talk about the end. Go ahead.
Well, for me, I really enjoyed the movie an awful lot. It's one of those films that they kind of, I think it's very easy to fall in a trap where you can say stuff like, oh, I saw the end coming, it was predictable, so it was a bad movie. Like, I think it gets a lot of that. I think it's like a criminally underrated movie because it came out in the same year as like Inception, and it was also, when you look at the director and other work, it's like, was this really their best stuff or whatever? But I think that these other things kind of cloud over the fact that this was actually an incredible movie. It was a really, really good movie. It was a very intelligent movie. And the thing that I was most concerned about as I watched it is, Matt's right, a lot of this film is very surreal. The general premise is a guy who's gone to a police island. It's a mental institution / prison for absolutely criminally insane people. And so he's trying to find this supposed woman who's gone missing. And it's a very surreal movie. Everyone's treating him weirdly on the island. Clearly something is up. He's having these weird hallucinations eventually. He's having very specific dreams about his storied past. You know that he had a family. You know that he was at least at one point involved in World War II, and he saw, death camps and so forth, and these things had affected him. And there's a lot of weirdness to the film. And the thing, it makes you think sort of that it's going to hinge on some big reveal that suddenly snaps it all and makes it feel like it makes sense. And you will kind of get the general idea very quickly. The movie is constantly throwing hints at you that somehow maybe this guy that's supposed to be investigating this prison is perhaps himself a patient, okay? And it does not take a genius to come to that idea. You're constantly thinking about that. You're always flirting with that idea. As soon as weird stuff starts happening, you're thinking to yourself, I bet Leonardo DiCaprio is somehow involved with this place. Maybe he's a patient, right? But the specifics of how everything comes together, people cannot predict. And I think they're really obvious with this idea. There's so many shots where you see him eventually, like, they change his clothes, and he's not wearing the same clothes as the patients would be wearing. No, but you see him running around with all the police officers in their uniforms, and he's sort of all scattered brain trying to escape and stuff. And it's just visually, narratively, it's there in the script everywhere. It's suggesting this idea to you. And the thing I was most scared of was that it was going to be one of these movies where you have a big twist, shock ending, and not everything would make perfect sense, because you've seen so much surreal stuff in this movie, right? Like, there's so much, you know, he's suddenly having a dream and he's holding his wife and blood is spilling out from her stomach, and then there's all this ash everywhere, and suddenly everything's on fire, and then he's soaking wet and he's waking up, and then there's lights flashing on him. There's so much weird surrealness that, to me, I was very concerned the movie wouldn't resolve itself in every possible way. But it does. And to me, it wasn't about that big twist at the end. It was about,
his
or
decision.
ultimately, yes, it was about the very end of the movie where they deliver a very powerful line that makes you question. Okay, do you want to describe the full plot and just explain to people exactly how that goes, so I'm not talking for too long?
No. I already talked for like 10 minutes, so go ahead.
All right, okay, so basically the setup here is, if you don't want spoilers, you can skip ahead a little bit, but I guess it's fairly predictable. Essentially, this is a man with multiple personality disorder who had, in his past, been married to a woman. This woman, Leonardo DiCaprio's wife, murdered his 3 children while he was out. And he felt, and then, because in his grief over this fact,
he was a U.S. Marshal. He was a U.S. Marshal.
He had been involved in the Holocaust and stuff. And so then he shot his wife in grief over this fact. And of course, now that makes him a murderer, right? And it's a tragic, tragic situation. And we as the audience can totally empathize with his choice to kill his wife in that moment, okay? But he is such a good guy. He is such a decent, moral human being that the guilt, not only over the fact he killed his wife for this travesty, but also the fact that he never got her psychological help when those signs had been there before she ultimately murdered her kids. He was such a good guy, he felt guilty for her death, and he felt guilty for the death of his 3 young children too. And this destroyed him. And he is, of course, viewed by society as a murderer, as a criminal. And so, at the same time, he's dealing with his own grief. And what he does is he splits himself away, and he pretends to be someone that he's not. And he goes through these very, very intricate, elaborate stories that he tells himself, and he absolutely convinces himself of, just so that he, in his own mind, no longer has to live as this monster he is so guilty of being. This monster that killed his wife, and he felt that he was responsible.
And what he was saying, before was his wife was telling him there's like it feels like an insect is in my brain, a
cockroach in her head, and it just pulls on the strings when it feels like it.
Right, and he didn't get her help, so she says, "Set me free, set me free." So he shoots her.
So yeah,
and he says all of that while the doctors are asking him after he like wakes up from his like, you know, crazy dream. He's a multiple personality, and you know, if this didn't work, because his doctor says, we're gonna try this role play. We're gonna role play the whole thing, right? The whole prison is gonna be in on it, and we're gonna see if it works. Because if not, we're gonna have to kill you. We're gonna have to, you know, end your life.
Lobotomize him.
Yeah.
They wouldn't kill him. They just make him a vegetable.
Oh.
But
yeah. Well,
so here's what's so beautiful about this movie to me that I enjoyed so much is they set up this idea of this character that we really do empathize with. Like it's so hard to hate him. Yes, he's a criminal. Yes, he's a murderer. But he is so guilty over this fact. He's done the ultimate. He's completely changed himself and regressed in his mind. And so he gets taken to this island, to this institution where psychologists are looking at him and trying to coax out the real him and try to cure him, and he will forever be a criminal, and he will forever be viewed that in the eyes of society. But these psychologists have got to know him, as we the audience have, and know, oh my god, this is actually a really decent, loving human being, and it would be a travesty, as Matt just pointed out, for him to have to be lobotomized.
Like, the doctors are actually caring. You can see it in their faces, and at the end, when his psychiatrist, because there's two doctors, the psychiatrist that was acting as his partner, and then the doctor that was like I guess the lead doctor guy, psychiatrist, main person.
He's the guy in charge of everything.
Yeah, that guy. He was literally crying at the end because of the choice he made. So you want to read the line? So the guy, Leonardo is sitting on the stairs, right? And his psychiatrist.
Well, hold on. So,
okay. Well, go ahead.
Well, so the point is, the whole movie is then Leonardo just being given free reign around the prison. The psychologist decide as a last gambit attempt, maybe we can bring him back by just letting him play out these fantasies, and ultimately he'll realize he's not this person he's pretending to be, and maybe he'll remember who he truly is, and so on. And maybe if we can do that, if we can have this breakthrough, the guy doesn't have to get lobotomized and everyone will go home happy. And so this is where the movie starts. He's on the boat and so forth. But the plot ultimately comes that this works. And so at the end of the movie, you realize, Leonardo was a patient. That's supposedly the big twist, but it's ultimately got very little to do with the emotion of the movie. And he comes to, and you're like, oh wow, it worked. Great. He's gonna live. And people might see him as a monster or whatever, but these are everyone involved here are decent people. This is good. And so comes the final test, the moment where the man who would be in charge of this lobotomy wants confirmation that Leonardo DiCaprio remembers his true self. And so they're sat on the step. This is the closing moments of the movie. They're sat on the steps, and he starts talking at Leonardo, despite appearing fully lucid and back and normal, suddenly starts acting like he's regressed, and he's suddenly saying, oh yeah, come on partner, we got to get off this island, these people are ridiculous, come on, we need to get out of here. So make it, devastating. The psychiatrist next to him, he thinks, oh my god, he's regressed, none of this has worked. And so they have to give the order to kill him. They have to do this because apparently it hasn't worked. And that's, by the way, this is all based on a book, Matt. I don't know if you know, and that's basically how the book ends. It's just this sad story where it just ends, and this revolutionary technique that the psychologists have tried to take part in has completely messed up. And a good man was unable to be saved, and that's how the book ends. It's like, wow, what the hell? But but for the film, they add one extra line right at the end that I think improves the book dramatically in the original story.
They didn't have this in the book?
Yeah, this wasn't in the book, dude. It's just a sad story. It just ends like that.
This is the whole point of this. Made the movie for me. This line.
Yeah. And I guess I'm only paraphrasing at the moment.
No, I have the line.
Oh, okay. So
he says to his partner, which would knowing
he's about to be lobotomized,
right? Which would be worse, to live as a monster or to die as a good man?
And then the psychiatrist is shocked. He's like, whoa, what the hell? But
he's already got up and he starts walking towards the people, he's knowing he's not putting up a fight. Nothing.
Well, I think there is still some ambiguity there. I think it is still a little bit.
But I feel like he decided to die. I feel like
that's the happier ending.
He's like Teddy. He's like Teddy, and then he keeps walking.
If you guys aren't following, the whole point here is that Leo, even now he's lucid, even though now he recognizes, he remembers who he was and stuff, he actually chooses, you know what, I don't want to live with this guilt. I can't live with this guilt. My family's dead. I killed my wife. I'm never getting out of here, even if you do make me sane again, if I don't keep regressing.
Are you crying right now?
No. I was suppressing a burp, and I was doing it pretty well, I think. And so, he comes out with this line that just makes you think, and that's like the closing note of the movie. And it's not about the twist, man. It's just an emotional, beautiful, tragic,
I agree
sad movie that you can rewatch as well. Like, do you know the scene that really stood out to me that I thought of by the end? I was thinking about this movie a lot after I finished watching it. There's a scene where early on, Leo is he gets all of the hospital staff, all of the mental the people working at the place together so that he can conduct his investigation about this supposed murderer who's missing, which is all just a fallacy. This is just a part of his fantasy. And in the scene, all of the people at the mental institution are just being aggressive to him and not helping him. And on your first watch, you're like, why are these guys being such douches about this? Come on, what are they doing? And then you realize, it's because from their perspective, they're talking to one of their patients and none of them want to be there. This guy's insane. Come on, why should we have to talk to this guy? This is just some stupid test our guy's going. And our boss is making us sit through, and it makes so much sense. And you see the expressions on their faces. It's beautiful. It's so well done.
Yeah.
And sad and emotional. Yeah, I really, really, really enjoyed the movie, and I'm very sad to see that it didn't actually do that well. I think just because of the circumstances of its release, just because of the year it came out.
I think it also got like only decent reviews actually.
Yeah, like it's like you look around, you're largely gonna find 6s and 7s out of 10.
Yeah,
But
got like
I very much
69 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is not too bad. But man, if you don't at least hit that 70, and look, 76% people liked it, out of 2 million. That's a lot of people who didn't care for it,
Yeah, it's all people who think it's just a movie about guessing a twist, and then they guess the twist easily. But
they
not
didn't
really
pay
about
attention to
The
what
finer
was
details.
happening. I'm trying not to use cinematography. I'm trying not to use it. People don't like it when I use it. It's all those shots. The so good. Oh my gosh. I love stuff like that. And I can't believe I used to watch movies without looking at it. It aggravates me. Like why?
How long ago did you watch Shutter Island then? It's not actually that old of a film either, right?
Let me see.
I mentioned this on the live podcast as well, guys, by the way. But Shutter Island, another cool thing. Again, this is based on a book.
2011. I mean 2010.
2010. Oh
Yeah.
wow, 5 years.
Yeah. I back then I obviously didn't watch movies properly.
Well, yeah. I mean,
my
it's
taste
thoroughly
have
enjoyable.
improved, I think.
Despite everything we've said here, I'd recommend people watch it. I think we talk about movies a bit too much. Jesus.
Yeah, we do. This is too
We're
much.
hitting our hours. Do you remember when we rebooted this? We were saying it was going to be an hour each.
We talked about Guild Wars 2. That's okay. People are happy. People don't care about anything else. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. So they've tuned out now anyway, right?
They tuned out already. Yeah. No. Of course not.
All right. Do you want a really rubbish audio adventure from me?
You didn't even send it to me yet.
Yeah, well, it's really short, so there you go. We're going back to normal. I'm out of ideas. I'm all dried up. Here you go. This is audio adventure back to normal.ra. I'm sending to Matt. It's very simple. This is something that I did in my house, and you have to guess exactly what I was doing at the time. I think there's a bit of shouting as well around the house. Wow, this is a big file, and it's taken a while to send.
I can't believe you, man. You need to step it up a little bit. I might have to replace you with another British person. I think I might call up Total Biscuit. Yeah.
TB, yeah, you're bros, right? You could just get him.
Yeah. We're bros.
Give me another British person on the internet that's not a member of the Yogscast.
Dang it! I was about to say Strippin. Strippin was actually down here, and I got invited to the Smite tournament, but I was moving.
Smite tournament?
I was moving, and I didn't get to go. I want to see Jesse Cox again. I talked to him a lot at PAX, and
maybe you should just go on Cox and Crendor.
Nah, that would never happen. I would mess up the flow though. Like it's weird. I definitely don't want to. Like it's like me being in a JonTron. Like it just doesn't work. JonTron by himself. JonTron by himself is fine. Cox and Crendor by themselves is fine. You don't need to add another person in. It's perfect. I think it will work with us with interviewing a person. I think it will work with us pretty good actually. Like if we had a panel and we had like the developers on, oh dude, we could mess with Colin Johansson. Oh, that would be rich. Oh, so good. Oh man, we gotta talk to our homeboy.
Our
homeboy,
wow.
And see if we can hook that up.
So you can mess with devs.
Yeah,
this is the idea
he's
of
not dev.
your...
He's like what is it?
Why are we talking about this?
He's not a dev. He's a demigod. He's like half
a demigod, demi-dev.
Yeah,
That
demi
actually just
dev.
sounds like that sounds more like that's someone in QA or something that isn't really appreciated as a true dev.
Oh, you're just a demi dev.
Yeah.
He's like he just puts his head down. He just walks.
What's the difference between demi and semi as words?
I don't know. A lot of people use demi.
Demi means half, doesn't it?
It
half
does.
or half size.
Yeah.
So and semi means half, doesn't it? Or does it mean two?
Semi means.
Yeah, it means like half. Like the semi-finals. Maybe it does mean two because there's two. A semi-detached house is 2 houses together. That's what Google is telling me. A I don't know.
We're really talking about this right now.
Look, this is how you improve your vocab, bro, and learn about the world, all right? We're going to do a new section. It's called Learning About Words. We're going to do it. It's called Word of the Day.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So the word of the day today was demi.
Right.
Remember that? That's D-E-M-I. We've got international viewers as well. They'll appreciate this sort of English talk. And
I thought you guys knew what English was already, and we speak it wrong. I thought that's what it was.
Oh, don't. That's a bit rude, to be honest, of you saying that.
I
have a lot of respect for people learning other languages, and if they struggle a little bit, then they struggle a little bit.
No, I'm talking about UK people. What are you talking about?
Oh,
oh my god!
I thought you were like, oh yeah, these like Japanese people trying to listen to the podcast and leave comments that they can't quite hear us. Screw you guys.
I'm talking about UK people.
No, in that case, you're absolutely right. Yeah, damn right.
Yeah,
you will speak it wrong.
It's there it is, and there it is.
You will speak it wrong.
Supreme UK.
There's some weird thing though that I was reading. I don't know whether this is just sort of specific bigotedness from certain regions, but I heard something about how apparently one of the US current accents, contemporary accents, is closer to the UK accent of, you know, discovering the new world and stuff than the UK accents of today.
What?
But the thing is, there is no one UK accent, so I don't know really what the hell they're talking about there. Apparently also the US, I've always heard this, that the US was very close to speaking entirely German.
Whoa.
Or was it Spanish? No, it wasn't Spanish, because that was more South America's, right? I don't know. Like, that's something that I've always heard, but I don't
Florida.
actually know where that fact comes from. What?
Florida, we got a lot of Haitians and a lot of not Africans, island people. So,
Island people.
Yeah.
What does that
So we
mean?
got some Patois, we got some Bahamian. Yeah.
Were these your homies?
Oh yeah, dude. Like everyone was everywhere. We like everyone was mixed up together. Everyone, and it was good. Low hoodish, not hoodish areas, because I didn't really live in the hood later on. I guess what you could say, middle to low class. Is that what it's called? Where you're like kind of paycheck to paycheck type thing, that type of class. I think that's not middle class, is it?
No, middle class is like you're comfortable.
You're comfortable. Okay, so a little bit less than middle
you
class.
have like a mortgage.
That type of area was nice. This is diverse people. Like that's why I love Miami. Love Miami because it's so.
Do you think you'll ever go back to Miami?
I was gonna say absolutely, but then I really thought about like there's so much stuff that happens here in Georgia, but I don't really like Georgia as a place to chill at. Like you really need a car. Like Miami, you can go anywhere literally. Like it's easy.
Is Miami like a lot more dense? Is that the point?
Yeah.
Which is like more populous? Miami, right?
Florida.
Florida
Yeah. There's no like long dirt roads and stuff like that like Georgia is. Georgia, it still feels country-ish.
That's weird because I also hear so much about like Atlanta and stuff.
Yeah, Atlanta is filled with buildings. But as soon as you go out of Atlanta, like there's certain parts of Georgia that are just very country-ish.
Well, isn't most of Florida, if you're not in like Miami or the cities, isn't it just swamps?
Well, mostly north of North Florida is like that. Yeah, yes. But they're building. Like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it was like definitely swampy. But now it's just a lot of
How do you even remove swamplands? I thought I remembered that if there was swampland, it was like one of the worst things to try and
I don't know why I use swamp. Foresty, I guess. You know, it's the same thing. Like just territory that hasn't been touched yet.
All I imagine is like really thick, like almost tropical forested areas, swamps, gators everywhere, and then like one sort of ramshackle like hut, like shack somewhere. You know the first season of Dexter?
Yeah.
You know the finale? Yeah. Like where he gets locked in like a hut? Yeah. That's what I imagine. Honestly, anywhere in Florida, that's what I imagine. And maybe someone sat out the front in a straw hat and a bit of like reed in his mouth. banjo, something. Well, maybe that's the other southern states, but still, that's exactly what I think. Like, beware of the gators.
Okay. We just rambled for 5 minutes. As your thing just slowly downloads. So
Alright,
let's
it's
go
cool. We'll just
to
get to another
movies and TV shows that we've been watching. I see that you
Well, we
put
already
The
did movies.
Walking Dead season 5 on here. Because
Alright,
I
you
actually
have to
caught up
recap
with
for
it.
everyone. Yeah, so what happened last week? I forget what happened.
What do you mean I haven't? Like, I thought season 4 was the only. I thought it ended with season 4, and it didn't.
We had a whole conversation about this friggin' show, and we weren't even talking about the same season.
Yeah. I see. I didn't find that part where you say there's a lot of people who were in a dire situation. You thought they were all gonna die. I didn't find that part. Well, I guess there's a part there, but I don't know. Like, it wasn't as dire as the one.
I meant right at the start, where someone's swinging a baseball bat.
Oh, okay. Yeah. True that.
That's where I was talking about.
Oh man, you're talking about Carol. Carol got some. She's doing a thing. I thought she. The strangest thing is I didn't like her. I didn't like her when she.
This season.
When she did that thing, I didn't like her, and then all of a sudden this like, I understood it. I just didn't like how she was so comfortable with it.
Oh, do you mean the thing about the children?
No, before that.
What did she do? Oh, where
The whole
someone was
what
ill.
spawned the whole her. Okay, we can't talk about The Walking Dead. It's good, guys. You should go watch it. The characters are growing and changing, and it's good. It's amazing. If you go this first season, you just don't expect. You don't expect much from the first season. Like, you're like, oh, you know.
Well, you wouldn't expect it to go where it has gone, right? Like, there's a moment in the most recent season, this isn't spoiling things, but Carol is looking like the ultimate badass. She's, like, coated in, like, blood and dirt and grit, and she's determined, and she's just kicking ass. And then you go back to, like, season 1, and she's like, oh, I'm being beaten by my husband, and, I can't find my daughter. Oh, please, somebody help me. It's amazing. It's so cool how just the development.
Yeah, the development is nice. They have, like, a core group now and everything. So, like, wow. It's, I'm enjoying that. There's so many shows I need to catch up with. I need to finish Dexter. I need to finish Lost. And I need to catch up with Castle. I love me some Castle, and I download all the rest of that, and then I finished Legend of Korra with their spoiler that I cut out.
Okay, and the end bit, did you know what I was talking about?
Dude, like, my wife was just like, calm down, babe. It doesn't mean that. And then as the end kept going and going, I was like, it's just like, this is not proving my point at all. This is not proving and the last frame where they're facing each other in Legend of Korra. And I was like,
Did you know?
Yes,
did you know that is?
Yes.
Did you know that is also mimicking exactly the last frame of The Last Airbender?
Is it?
Where there's also two characters facing each other.
Wait, is it the
Dude, I haven't even seen it. I just read a lot about this ending, and everyone was freaking out because it was also a mirror.
So I shouldn't spoil it then.
No, I know what it is though.
Oh, you know what it is? Oh, well, all I gotta say for people who have watched it, give me a kiss.
So you were in the camp. You were very happy with it, were you?
No, I see. That's another thing that what I was saying. Are they doing it because of this whole? Oh,
just to get a demo.
Just to be like, oh, there needs to be more of this type of thing in culture. Or are they doing it?
Because it is quite forward for a Nickelodeon.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
I don't care either way. I thought it was cool.
If it makes sense emotionally for the two characters,
it kind of does.
Then it makes sense.
I saw that from way back when they were talking to each other. I was like, okay, we need to stop talking about stuff that we can't talk about. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I might cut that out. I might not, probably.
Look, I'm just gonna do a solo podcast from now on where I just go through all the biggest spoilers.
Spoiler podcast. I'm pretty sure you'll get a lot of views on that. The spoiler cast,
starting with The Sixth Sense. Moving on to, I don't know, what else can you spoil?
Inception.
Is that a spoiler? Is there a big spoiler in that movie? Oh no! That's such a good end to that movie with the spinning top.
I don't.
Again,
I rather
ambiguous end.
Shutter Island than that end, and they're both the same people too.
Yeah, but there's hints at the end of Inception as well about him wearing his wedding ring or not that give you clues as to the truth behind it.
I might need to watch.
Dude, these kind of psychological mind mess movies, they're so good.
Yeah, they
I love the setting of. All right, whatever. Okay, let's not go back onto that. So, audio adventure is still going. Why is this transfer so slow?
Because
we're about halfway.
Your internet, man. That UK.
Do you want to jump into some questions then, and we'll do the audio adventure at the end?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so the first question comes from God Saw, who's asking you, Matt, what exactly you're doing in Elite Dangerous. They say, I find just flying around shooting rather boring. Is there some EVE-like trading system in there? Is there a story? I want to know.
So the story, they're going to be delivering it through like news and stuff like that. Like when you go to the right-hand corner of the screen when you're docked. And that's,
so is it there already?
Yeah, it's there already. They said they're going to do some interesting stuff on it. There's supposed to be some big patch coming out. I don't know if it came out already. I don't
what
think
is
so.
the story?
Like when it's going to be like player driven and they're going to start adding some like
wait,
faction
is it there or is it not?
wars as well. And talking about like, I remember this daughter, like this is going to be some faction wars between the two. And you're going to be able to see like conflict happening and you're going to be able to participate and stuff.
Okay.
And there's going to be real ships during that.
But yeah, is it? Am I to get from this? You're not really following the story as it stands.
No. I'm just exploring the world because it's not out yet. It's not out yet.
So there is no story.
Not right. No,
Yes.
Other than the the random news things that tells you what's going on.
And what are the random news things?
Like this is happening over here. You should probably go check it out and stuff like that.
So it's more just little quests.
Yeah. I guess I didn't really look too much into it, so take my very nonchalant answer with a grain of salt. So for flying, and I feel like flying is one of my funnest. It's not for everyone. I feel satisfied when I'm getting better at landing the ship and speeding through. Like the dock and stuff like that, and being able to maneuver way better. Like for instance, I learned that when you turn the throttle to and it turns blue, you can turn faster and you can slow down fast. Like in a nice. When you're in Super Cruise, you could turn your throttle down to the blue until it hits blue, and then you'll be able to slide right into wherever you're trying to land. There's stuff like that you learn from the game that goes with experience, and definitely you get better at fighting as well. I feel like learning the game is fun for me. For me, what I do is I do a combination of what I suggest if you want to make money. You find an asteroid belt and find a resource extraction site where people are mining. And there's a lot of conflict going on there. When you get there, just wait a sec and find a wanted person, shoot them, and I'm pretty sure like a crazy stuff are going to start happening. If nothing doesn't happen, go to another resource extraction site. But you get a lot of good bounties. I've collected quite a few 100,000 bounties from there.
Okay, and the bounties are then what? Give
you money, credits, which you can buy better ships, more equipment. There's all sorts of stuff to upgrade on your ship.
Do you feel like you've seen all of the different ships and things already?
In the game, there you can see all.
Like,
you can see all the ships.
Do you ever have like an exciting moment where you see some guy in a like insane souped up?
Oh yeah.
You're like,
there's moments like that. You see people in
you're still
autocondos
surprised
that
by...
cost like millions of credits that you feel like you could never achieve. But right now, there's a problem with it where trading is just way better than going out and killing bounties. The risk is lower, even though you could get interdicted, which is like people stopping you from going into hyperdrive and stuff like that. And if they grab you out, then you have a long cooldown to go back into frame shift drive to speed out. Just like in Star Trek when you see them charge up and they shoot off into space. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
And they can kill you. And if you're doing it if you're doing it for the money, you probably traded in your shield generator for more cargo space so you can make more money. You know, there's lots of little stuff like that where you can switch out different bays in your ship to put other stuff. You can sacrifice things, you know, as long as you don't sacrifice too much and then you don't have anything. But yeah, like there's a lot of cool things like that make me really like the game as like just like a it's like a modded up Space Daisy, like a modded Space Daisy. I think it's pretty much is right now until they start adding.
A really good name.
Yeah, until they start adding some more stuff. Like again, like I said before, it's not for everyone, so don't be like going out and buying it. Say, oh, Matt Visual likes it, I'm gonna buy it. No, it's an investment. It's $60. It's a lot of money for a game that needs some updates, especially for other people. You know, other people can't. You know, like for instance, he finds it boring. If you are using a whole task, that improves the experience, but that's more money. I bought a cheap one, but you know, I don't know how you feel about buying cheaper products. But yeah, like I find it really fun just doing a combination between fighting and trading. And if you want to trade, I'm going to leave a link down below where you can put what star system you're in. And I don't know, I think that's what it's called. Star system you're in, and it's going to give you trade routes that you can use. That's an easier way instead of like going directly to the star, to the system and seeing what they're trading and what they specialize in. And it changes constantly because it's being updated on the server because it's real trading. There's a lot of really cool trading. You got to be careful with pirates and stuff like that. So I say don't have your shield and everything and your weapons. I don't know what you're starting off with. I have a Cobra Mark III, so that's what I use. So I have a balance between having some cargo space and having some weapons. WP has no idea what I'm talking about, so we're gonna move on.
I'm vaguely able to follow along, like, very vaguely.
But yeah, sorry for the boring 5 minutes, guys. We can move on to the next question.
All right. The next one is from Ruben Willie, who said, question for the next pod. Where is one place in the world, this is like nothing to do with games, it's a bit of a sudden jump. Where is one place in the world, anywhere, that you would want to travel to? I mean, and I've got loads of answers to this, really.
Yeah.
The first one that usually comes to my mind when it comes to stuff like this, I don't know, what do you think about Europe travel? Because a lot of people really want to travel.
I want Europe. I'm scared. Also,
yeah,
and I think
the wallet stuff.
Yeah, I'm very scared about it, but that's the reason why I want to go the most. It's all around Europe.
So here's what I'd tell you I would do if I was like, I was in Spain or whatever, I didn't have too much money. I saw you, full tourist mode, all right? And tell me how effective this would be. I'd get my mate, all right? And we'd go up to you, and we'd be one on the left, one on the right, and we'd ask to see your wallet, and then you'd have your little response, and we'd say, I'd like to see your wallet, please. And,
like the Peep Show.
Yeah, like in the Peep Show. Okay, but there's two of us. And then what I do is I snatch the wallet out of your hand, put it behind my back, okay? And my friend's hands are behind his back as well, and we're stood next to each other. And so now you don't know which one of us has got the wallet, and we run off in two different directions.
That's exactly what happened to my Pokemon.
I know, yes.
My Pokemon Red. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But I would never have it out. It's either I'm going full fanny pack, or I'm having that junk in my pocket.
Put it on a chain as well.
I'm gonna get when I travel. I'm gonna get jeans with zipper pockets so I can zip it up, so people can't bump into me. The classic bump and grab. And my wife loves to put her stuff in her jacket pockets. I'm like, no, today you're gonna be putting it in your.
What do you think about your inside jacket pocket? I get that women don't usually have those, but.
No, that's easy. All that's easy to grab.
How's that easy?
It's easy to grab because it's not connected to you. If it's my jeans and I don't wear baggy jeans like back in the days, like back in the day gangster style.
Oh my God, I have to see a picture of you like back in the days. The day that you took Shadow of the Colossus, for example. I have to see what you look like.
You would not recognize me. I look way different now. A lot of people from high school just kind of pause and look at me. I'm like, dang.
Dude, that must feel pretty good.
Yeah, because I was really big. I was really big, so my face was kind of pushed out a little bit.
And the good thing as well is everyone else after school, they all slowly get fat, right, through their 20s and 30s.
Mm-hmm.
But you went in the opposite direction, so you look really, really good by comparison. You need to go to like the high school reunions and stuff. Tell them you're an astronaut, all those kinds of things.
I didn't know the high school reunions were like driven by people. Like people have to do
Why?
it.
What's the school's incentive to do it? They don't care anymore.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So I'm weirded out. I'm like, oh, when are we gonna have a reunion? That's gonna suck.
Well, probably just the most successful or outgoing or the most lonely person, I guess, but also somehow has a lot of money would initiate it.
Yeah, I can see a couple people I know. I was friends with the valedictorian, and he was rich. He was really.
It doesn't mean he's rich now, though. Maybe his mummy and daddy cut him off.
Well, yeah, I guess that could totally happen. Absolutely, totally happen.
To the question, where the number one that always comes to my mind, Europe is cool. All right, Europe is cool, but I think a lot of South and Central American like ruins and stuff look amazing, and like the idea of lost cities and stuff. So like Machu Picchu, the Sacred Valley, things like that. Oh my god, dude, I would love to Angkor Wat as well. I think. Oh man, come on! I think Angkor Wat's in Cambodia. Stuff like that looks incredible to me, and you get kind of the jungly kind of big roots. Oh, like it's like the classic kind of Uncharted adventure game style places. I really want to visit, even if it is touristy and stupid and dumb, and in potentially hostile areas. That's just the how ancient it all is would just excite me too much. Plus, they're just beautiful places of the world. So I don't know. That's nearly always my go-to, but there's many, many, many places. When I was like 14, I got bought this book for Christmas by someone who clearly didn't have anything else to give me. That is just pages and pages and pages. It's a really nice book, just pages and pages and pages of beautiful, amazing, interesting places in the world, like all organized by continent and stuff. And it's like if I ever had the money to go travel, which is something I desperately want to do, I would just, look through this basically. And I've kept it for that reason because hopefully one day I'll do it. But for you, it's just more
we should make that happen,
Europe?
WP. Everyone. Let's all donate to WP. Thousands and thousands
for a
of
Europe
dollars.
trip. And what I'll do, guys, is I won't post any videos for like a year.
Right.
And then I'll come back and then I'll say, hey, thanks, guys. That was really good. And
Never.
then, I will have experienced so much real life stuff and whatever, I won't be so into the internet anymore and I'll probably just leave it there, and call it a day.
Yeah.
That'll be a nice little capper on all this.
That sounds about right.
Sounds like they'd get a lot out of that. So donate.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Right.
All right. The next and final question.
Oh my God.
Really
Why did you add this?
It's not even that huge. What? Which one? What, the question?
This.
Why? What's wrong with that question?
All right, go ahead. Let's see what you have to say about it. Let's see
right,
your extensive knowledge on porn.
It's not extensive knowledge on porn. Someone asked, wait, we were talking about Casting Couch, that terrible movie that I still kind of want to see. And the title of it.
Of course you do.
And he said, wait, isn't Casting Couch like a porn company? And I just wanted to clarify. It's not really a big question. All right, Google define. Casting couch is a term used in reference to the supposed practice whereby actresses are awarded parts in films or plays in return for granting sexual favors to the casting director. So it's actually got nothing to do with porn. It's just sort of this idea of...
It does it.
It's like, no, that's not porn. That's just corruption, right? Or there's a word for it, and I can't remember it. It's like why Megan Fox,
I would like
you
to
love it. Michael Fox is
on the behalf of WP.
Megan Fox is in all of those movies because she cleaned that guy's car with her shirt off, right? Remember? It's stuff like that. That's the whole casting couch idea.
Hold up, what?
Yeah. Who was the chick in Ninja Turtles that you didn't like?
Hold up, she cleaned what? She cleaned someone's car?
Who was the guy that directed Ninja Turtles?
Well, he didn't direct it this time. Michael Bay, he's an executive producer.
Yeah. Michael Bay. Megan Fox, Michael Bay car thing. It was this whole thing where she washed his car with no clothes on and stuff.
What?
Yeah, and it was really sleazy and stuff, but people forget. I was reading this whole blog post about celebrities and terrible things that they've done, but people just forget because later in life they do these great things. So you hear about all these great people that there was some really famous writer that everyone loved in the 19th century, And you find out actually that he spent like 20 years with his wife, had like 7-8 kids with her. She got overweight when she was like 35 or something, like very overweight. And then he just slandered her and destroyed her reputation, everything about her, called her, all the mean words under the sun, and ultimately divorced her, left her with nothing but a bunch of kids she couldn't afford to, what's the word?
Afford?
I wanted to say rear, but that's totally not the word. Yeah, afford, whatever, bring up, okay? And just sort of left, and then like married, and he was quite old at this time, and then married like a 16-year-old or something. Just found like a toy girl on the side and just went for that. And he did it really blatantly. He used to post all these horrible write and declare all these horrible statements about her, about how she got fat and she'd forced him to have kids. She was like a whale and all this stuff. Horrible human being. But I'm talking like a really classy, well-respected writer at the moment. I forget the name of the guy though. There's loads of stuff like that. There's like singers who
basically men are
killed people
evil
with their cars,
and everything women say is right about men being pigs. Basically.
Maybe, I don't know. Well, another one wasn't really about sexism or anything. One of them was like a rock singer that everyone loves, and I can't remember him either anymore. But early in life, he'd killed someone while driving under the influence of alcohol.
You ever wish you were a girl?
Sometimes, yeah.
I kind of wish I was a girl.
No, there's this thing called...
I would be...
Oh, I can't say the word.
One freaking hot girl, dude. Like...
Really?
Oh, dude. I would be in the games. I'll be into everything. Boy,
yeah.
no guy would be able to land me. I'd be like,
No?
Can't have this.
What would I have to do to seduce you?
Just be you, Winnie Potatoes. You're British.
Oh,
you
dude,
could have it all.
You always know what to say.
You could have it all.
Ooh. Well, look, if it's just about the accent, I'm not sure I'm interested.
Oh, how do you know that?
I will not be objectified like that.
How do you know that in all the girlfriends you've had, it's not all about the accent?
Because everyone has this accent where I live. And it's totally not normal. It's totally not
abnormal. So what if you date
sorry.
someone that's not from the UK one day? What if you move over here?
Well, I have a very strict screening process for stuff like that, I'm sure.
Oh, so you talk an American accent for like at least 2 months.
Yeah.
At least 2
that's
months.
my big secret. Yes, exactly.
so people can just get over the fact and actually, treat you for you.
God, and my American accent is like nails on a chalkboard. It's so bad. You need a real hot body to get away with that. Oh my god. Look, the audio adventure's done. Good.
Just in time to save you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so this is, as I say, you just got to guess what I was doing. There's a bit of shouting in it. Go for it.
All right.
No, it's nothing. All right, yeah, that's good. Thank you.
No, it's nothing. What?
Is it done? So we're doing a lot of decorating at the moment. We're stripping all the paint out of the house. It means there's a lot of hoovering.
Wait a minute. You did this thing this morning?
Yeah, I did. Of course I did.
Okay.
All right, so we were hoovering. Someone was hoovering it up, and I was like, "Oh damn, I need to record this noise. Can you stop hoovering for a second?" And they're like, "What? Why? Is something wrong? What's going on?" And I'm just sitting there making this noise. I'm like, "No, it's nothing. It's all right. All right, thank you very much." And then I stopped.
Oh, they must.
So what
think
was I doing?
You're going insane at this point.
What was I doing?
Dang, man, this sounds like you were just shaking a box of pins, dude. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, it sounds so weird.
Does it sound at all like Steam?
No.
Like maybe I have like a real life train set, steam engines and stuff in my basement that, I set up like Lovejoy from The Simpsons.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It's what?
Well, I'm telling you, it is Steam.
It is Steam?
Yep.
Really, making that sound? That sounds very annoying. If it's just constantly doing that, it's a train set.
No. That's me pressing a button each time.
Oh, okay.
To make the noise.
Is it like you're spraying a bottle of cleaning thing?
No. No.
Okay.
It's steam. It's hot steam.
Oh, it is steam. It is steam.
It's
You're
not
just
mist
messing
or
with me.
vapor. It's
Okay.
steam. Yeah.
Steam. Okay, so it doesn't sound like it's coming out of an iron, so I can't say that.
No.
What would make that sound? What would make this sound? It sounds so loud and harsh.
Mm-hmm.
I give up.
It's an iron, bro. It's a pressure iron.
It is an iron?
Yeah, it's an iron. It's absolutely an iron. It's an iron, bro. That's me ironing, basically. There you go.
I got it then. But I didn't.
No, you said you couldn't get it. You said you didn't pick that. So, unfortunately...
I should have just said iron then.
Yeah, you had 3 guesses. And you just totally...
Oh, whatever.
You had one.
Whatever. Technicality. It doesn't sound like an
alright.
iron, man. That must be an old iron.
No. It's quite a new one. It's a pressure steamer iron. So if you have a particularly difficult bit while you're holding it down, you press the button and it blasts it with steam. It's really good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can't believe.
It's really good. It's a great iron. And there you go. That's the audio adventure. That's VisualWood.
And thank you guys for watching every single week. We appreciate it.
Whenever you do that, I think of the Christmas thing where it's like, God bless you and everyone. That's a Christmas thing, isn't it? Or is that just a godly thing?
Speaking about Christmas.
No, look, you save it. Save it. You're ruining it. You've got to let it build up throughout the year. And then have that sweet, sweet release at the end.
Sweet, sweet, sweet victory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch that SpongeBob video now.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. My wife loves that thing, so I hear it every now and then. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. Just do the stuff that has to do with social media.